Old Guys Rock is getting ready to start up in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Old Guys Rock. Woo-hoo! That's right. This is where old guys get together and we rock on. That's right. Rock and roll, baby. Our motto here is still kicking ass. Ska. That's right. You don't have to be old. You don't have to be a guy. You don't even have to be a rocker, but you have to be kicking ass. So today's guest is certainly filling that criteria. He is kicking ass on so many levels. Unbelievable. He is just a bundle of energy, an amazing musician, incredible pianist, just amazing technique, feel for days. Guy's amazing. A voice like an angel, a writer. He's a ninja. I mean, he is truly amazing. And I'd like to introduce you. His name's David Cefkin. And just give me a second. I'm going to bring him in, so stand by. All right. Hey, everybody say welcome, David Cefkin. Welcome to Old Guys Rock. A round of applause. How about a program? How you doing, Dave?
Hey, thanks for that introduction. I mean, I don't know who you're talking about. I can't wait to meet you.
Hey, I've seen you flipping down the beach. The guy's unbelievable. He invented you know how they jump across the roofs and do all that stuff? That's David. Yeah, he still does it. It's amazing. So anyway, our motto here, of course, is still kicking ass. And you, of course, are doing that. So let's start with that. What's going on these days, Dave?
Well, I'm playing in a band down here, a really great group of guys and a girl. We do mostly corporate stuff, and we have a couple of clubs that we play at regularly.
Where's down here?
We're a little more choosy at our age. You know, we get offers to play in dive bars and things like that. And we say graciously thank you, but we're busy.
Yeah, must be nice. So where's down here?
Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, you poor bastard! I'm sorry.
Great music. Man, there's some amazing bands around. It's crazy how good they are.
Yeah, it's I remember gigging back in the day down there. It was cutthroat even back in the 80s when I was out making this scene. But so are you still gigging a lot? How many gigs you guys doing regularly?
We play once or twice a month, probably twice a month, which is perfect. We do mostly corporate events, which is great, to actually get paid for what you do.
You gotta love that. Yeah, corporate gigs are the best. They're in the day. They're a happy drunk. Usually, it's not like playing at a bar gig.
Yeah, it's they're there to celebrate something.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
It's amazing. So you say you've been, in that scene there for a long time. What was it like in the old days and, back in the day when you were really gigging heavily back then?
Well, it was a lot different. There were no such thing as DJs, digital music. So nightclubs had groups there for like a minimum 1 week. You were there for at least a week. If you're a house band, you were there for a month or 2 months. And, you can schlep all that heavy gear that we had and set it up, and it was worth it,
Yeah, you're right. Gosh, I see you sitting in front of a Hammond. At least that's their, portable. But boy, back in the day, I remember schlepping that thing. Oh my gosh, unbelievable.
Yeah, 300 pounds, 150 Leslie. Fender Rhodes, 175, 130 pounds, depending on which model. It was just insane. You didn't have samples.
Yeah, I remember even my clav was heavy.
Yeah.
It didn't look like, but it was. The thing had to been 30 pounds. Unbelievable. But boy, you can't touch those old keyboards though. Man, they had such sounds.
No, and like trying to tune them and fix them was hilarious. You had to be MacGyver
Yeah, oh God, I feel your pain, boy. I'm sure every old guy keyboard out there player, boy, they know the pain of that. Especially the B3. My God, that thing was a beast. You know, you open the back of that thing, and it was a nightmare. My poor sister Max looked at it, and she fainted.
Yeah.
It was too crazy for her.
God forbid you didn't have the right tube. You could go to a TV store.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And it stunk. You know, you'd open it up because you've been playing bars and you get, there's a lot of dust and dirt, and it's hot in the back of a B3. And you open that thing up and it reeked, man. It's so funny. But
and the Wurlitzer, man, like they had like a metal reed and a glob of solder on it. So if it was sharp, you had to sand it off. And if it was flat, you had to like solder on a little piece and then sand it off. And then make sure you didn't vacuum it out, or other it's worse than feedback.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. But what a marvelous instrument. That was one of my early ones. I remember you had a Whirly early on too, I believe.
Yeah.
That was one of your early keyboards. But so with that being said, why don't we go ahead and do an old guy deep dive into classic keyboards? What do you think, Dave? You want to check some out? All right. I'll tell you what, let me go grab that. I'm just gonna guys gear. Yeah. Nothing old guys like to talk about more than freaking instruments and gear and keyboards. Oh man, here we go. There you go.
There it is.
What a sound. I mean, so sweet. And the tines on it with the overtones. Oh, wow. Oh my God. I think I just got a little movement.
A beautiful muscle cars.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh
my God.
This stuff. It's. I guess only. I don't know if it's only keyboard players, but geez, oh Pete, this stuff is. I get excited when I see that inside of a Rhodes. Look at that. You remember tuning those things with the little. Yeah. You have to move it up and down.
Moving them.
Yeah, you see that right there. Yeah, those little springy things, and then you'd have to constantly move the little tines around because they'd move. They wouldn't be even. Oh man, gosh, I gave my Rhodes away. I gave everything away. I had my studio, and they were all so bulky, and I got my DX7. I said, I don't need this anymore. Boy, what?
They're worth a lot of money now.
There's my clav. Holy moly!
That instrument was my favorite, with a wah-wah pedal hooked up.
Oh, dude.
6, man.
And you kill a clav, dude. You have that feel, There's not a lot of Dave, what amazes me about you is you're so great technically, but your feel is unbelievable, and you feel that instrument. When you play a clav, you're playing it like Stevie Wonder, and that's what I love about your style.
It's very percussive,
Yeah.
Just like doing paradiddles with your hand,
Wow, you're right. It had a great action on that keyboard. A lot of bounce to it, I love that. Same thing with the Hammond. It had that great bounce,
Oh gosh, the waterfall keys.
Yeah. Oh man.
You
ever?
Go ahead, man.
There's a guy out there now named Neil Francis. You ever hear him?
No.
He has a clav with a wah-wah on it. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
And he's freaking unbelievable. Check him out. If you go online, he's tours still. Unbelievable. But he's kind of a retro dude. Very cool stuff. You'd love it. Look at this one. Wow, that's some custom clav. There you go. Now we're talking.
Wow.
Yeah, baby. Oh.
And just differently you play on these instruments. I know there's a reason guitar players have a dozen guitars.
Yep. People ask me about the Hammond. They're like, why are the black keys on the bottom? What are those sliders on top? Can you give them a little overview on it?
Well, all those the drawbars, that's where you get all your bass, your middle tones, your highs, and a combination of such. You can make it sound, more reedy. You can make it sound beefy, and with the Leslie hooked up to it, oh my gosh, digital samples are wonderful. It makes it so you don't have to lug it around, but you can't reproduce that rotary thing going around with those speed
Oh yeah,
down and speeding up back.
the Leslie. Plus, it had its own noise. You know, that motor with like that crunch. Remember that? And you'd mic it, and it was part of the sound.
Yeah,
So cool. I love that Leslie. Oh my god.
Yeah,
We used to actually use it in the studio and record guitar through it. It was a cool effect. Really, the Beatles did that.
Yes, I've heard. I remember a guitar player heard him play it. Amazing.
Yeah. So those black keys on the left side, what's the deal with those?
Well, you can actually have different settings in there, saved in there like that.
So they're like presets.
Yeah, they're sort of like to the modern preset. You keys, press them.
Wow.
You get things like
What
that.
what a mechanical marvel, you know? Now talk about mechanical marvels. This thing blew. I had one in the studio. What an unbelievable instrument, but boy, what a nightmare as far as maintenance. Oh my god.
And I didn't own one, but I remember you owned.
Oh, that thing. But it used tape loops, and they were like multi-track tape loops. Like you had an 8-track, so you can have different sounds like strings or chorus, you know, flutes, things like that. But you know, you had all the inherent issues with tape. Wow and flutter, stretching over. Look at that.
No way.
Look at that, dude. You
It
see all the
sounds-
look, and then every one of those little squares are pickups, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, what technology is insane. I mean, that is a gorgeous piece of instrumentation. You know?
What would happen if you moved it up and down off the stage?
it worked, you know. I mean, it held its own. It didn't really go out of tune, but you would have issues with the tape. You know, I had to replace them after a while. They wore out, you know, and that was not fun. These giant tailors. But luckily, I used to cut and splice tape a lot in the studio, so you know.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
God, those days are gone, man. Talk about the past. They just don't understand that stuff anymore. Now here you go.
Okay, I had one of those.
Did you? Oh my gosh, what a cool instrument, man. That was the sound of surf, huh?
It sure was.
What's the iconic surf tune with the Farpies? Is it da 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 da? Oh gosh, I know the Beach Boys use that one. They use the Vox a lot too, but
Yeah.
but Surf and Safari, Jan Dean, you know, some of those. Oh man, I love that. That whole era in music was pretty freaking awesome. Dick Dale, and you know, if you listen back to it, it's really the roots of rock. You know, you got Chuck Berry who started it all, but it was surf music that really popularized it, and it just went worldwide. You know, you think about the Beach Boys and those early '60s days.
Yeah, they were great, man. And you know, you didn't see very many groups cover the more difficult stuff because the vocals were incredible.
Yeah,
Awesome.
there's your whirling. Wow.
Man, that's like Fonzie behind the wheel of '57 Chevy right there.
There you go. See, look how different that is from a Rhodes, you know? Just a whole other animal. Amazing how these guys came up with, they'll get out with custom ones.
Fender had the patent, you know, so they come up with something else. It was like hilariously insane on the inside of it.
It's amazing. These guys were freaking geniuses, really. I mean, man, look at that one. Holy cow. There's a place in LA that has vintage keys, of course, everything in LA here, but I gotta go there. I'm gonna do a remote. What do you think? That'd be cool, huh?
Yeah, you should.
There's the Vox. That's the sound of the B-52s there. They love the Vox, man. And it had its own sound. You know, look at that. Tell me that's not sweet. Man, I want that. I need it. It's only, what? I don't know, $5,000. At least, who knows? These days, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'd like to buy another keyboard. If I had $5,000, it's going to really be that.
Yeah, I know. I can't even dream of that kind of thing. But, you know, I still, nowadays, I'm, you know, subject like the rest of us to MIDI and plugins. Oh, right. That is fun. There you go. What a deep dive. So, you know, we talk about those instruments, and out of all of those, I've got to say my favorite that, you know, I loved more than anything was my Rhodes. That thing was like you know how you get attached to your axe, right? You know, guitar players get it. All musicians get it. It's like a part of you. It's more than just something that you use to create. it's like it's part of you. And that Rhodes to me, you know, it was one of my earliest keyboards. I remember I bought it with my bar mitzvah money for $1,200, and it was used in a suitcase, you know. And that thing, man, I kept it all the way up till I got my DX7, and I kicked myself in the butt for getting rid of it. But oh, what a keyboard, man! Oh.
I know, man. And again, you play so differently with those things. Like you take a grand piano, for example, and you put that sustain pedal on, all those, you know, 3 strings to make one note, the overtones.
Yes.
And then you play the next chord. It does something to you emotionally. It changes the way you play.
Absolutely.
Samples are great, but they don't connect on that level with you as a player.
Isn't that the fact? And you know, that's so well put too, because when you think about it, everything's frequencies. You know, the whole universe. You know, on string theory level. You know, and you're right. I think it affects us in a lot of ways that it's hard to describe, but it's a fact.
Oh, it really is. I mean, like a lot of that vintage gear we was talking about, they have this thing about that just it connects to you emotionally.
Yeah, you know, and they make the same argument with analog versus digital recording. You know, when I was at Sony and MCI back in the day, I get into arguments with engineers because I had my studio, but these guys were world-class designers, and they say, well, you know, you have a brick wall filter at 22K, and you know, so everything over that, you're not going to get your overtones. I go, exactly. That's why analog's better, because analog, even though but you can't hear past 22K. You know, I said, no, but you can feel it. And the other notes and the other frequencies react to those overtones. And that's what you were talking about.
Oh, yeah. It's like when you hear, especially drums back in your studio days, you had that, you know, 2-inch tape running at high speed. And, you know, it was like it sounded like John Bonham sound. It's like,
yes.
That does something too.
That bottom end, man. I had in my studio, I had a 2-inch 16 track. So rather than 24, you had a wider track width. Plus, it had these analog transformer inputs. So you would get this ringiness from the inputs instead of op amps and transistors. You know how modern inputs are like. And oh my God, just like you were saying, it created all those frequencies. It was natural. And I would get guys coming over from Jamaica just to use that particular machine because of the sound of the machine. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe some blues players still use the analog. You know, I know. You know, there's a saying. You know, the people who are really good in the industry don't need the tools. You know?
Yeah.
Like I think Nora Jones' first album was all analog, reel to reel. They had the digital choice.
Yeah. Oh, it's making a huge comeback. There's this place. Oh my God, it's unbelievable. Vintage instruments, everything we're talking about. David, we're coming back, buddy. We're coming back. All we had to do was wait long enough, right?
But it's too hard, you know. It's like
I love it. I love it.
And the signal to noise ratio. Yeah. In digital, it's like, you know, it's so much easier to use and to come good. You know? In
the studio, I mean, doing this stuff now, I do a lot of I produce websites and, you know, I produce a lot of audio and stuff. But in the old days, God, it would have taken me forever. All the coding, you know, when I was doing websites, you had this, the CSS, they're cascaded screens, you know, with all coding. Nowadays, you like boop, 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 you click, you can do it on your phone. It blows my mind. And a lot of people our age are afraid of the technology. You know, they're afraid of AI. They're just worried about it. I think us, as especially keyboard players, we love technology. We embrace it. And why the hell not, right?
I know. You can have your guitar player you used to have in another state do the guitar track. They know
it's sick.
Know what to do. You know.
God, it's amazing. What I'm waiting for is the day where we can have live jam sessions with no latency whatsoever. Right now, it's kind of an issue. You know, I mean, it's close. I mean, we're talking right now in real time with virtually zero latency. Let's see. I can't play it. I got my keyboard here. Let's see. No, I can't hear it. But one day we're gonna do that. We'll have a jam room. I think that would be sick as hell. You know. God.
Yeah.
But it's great what you can do. Yeah, like you're right, collaborating is amazing. I have a guy, my last album, he's in Algeria. He's my guitar player. He's in Algeria. I met him years ago. He came into my studio. But he's, I send him my files. He throws about 10 tracks back at me. I take them apart, clip them, come up with the best solo out of all of it. And it's insane that you can do this in seconds. It's like, God, the world has changed, and boy,
Yeah.
I think it's great. I really do.
And then they take advantage of you and send you 4 tracks, and you gotta get the best of each. Okay.
I know. And you don't want to insult your player,
Thank you.
Oh man, I get that so much too. They're like, what happened to my solo? I go, it's better, isn't it? I love technology. Hey, my last album, if you listen to it, I got it up on the jukebox on the website, obrock.com. It's you'll hear it under my stuff, but there's a song on there called Chillsville, and it's one of my favorite songs I've ever played on, which is not maybe I have one song that I like, that's probably it, but that one I'm proud of because of the piano and the solo on it. And
awesome.
If it wasn't for MIDI and technology, I could have never, ever, ever done it. I could not reproduce it live. It is totally fake. I went in there and I slowed down the track like the 80, I went in and just totally did it in MIDI, fixed every note, you're the one who told me, don't ever quantize. And you're right, I do certain things, but definitely not piano. And boy, after working it and, tweaking it, it came out sounding freaking awesome.
I did the same thing on just too fast for a human, and slowed it down. I did it MIDI, just did it normal, and sped it up like magic. There it was.
Wow, yeah.
Play that live.
Exactly, and that's why a lot of artists now everything's tracked. They can't do anything live. It's okay with me. I don't mind technology. You know what? It's in the end, you get a product that moves you. What's music really about? It's moving people. And getting them to respond emotionally. And it's a great tool, and that's still working. And I think music is at a great place right now, which it hadn't been in a long time. And with the I think with YouTube and everything, it's just brought up the young musicians are unbelievable.
And they really emulate and admire a lot of the early players from our day, singers. They're like very earthy, raw, real, and they get it.
Yeah, the roots, roots music. Oh my, beautiful.
Not about anything else.
Yeah, you're right. It is kind of a throwback, and it's I'm looking at my site, which we've just launched, and I've got 55,000 hits on it already. I don't know how, but the comments I'm getting are a lot from young people. They're like, "Wow, thanks for posting this. I had no idea." They have no idea what a mellotron is. And they're digging it. And they're learning from this stuff, which is blowing my mind because I'm just doing it for the hell of it. It's just fun, But it's cool, Dave. You're right, and I think it's a blessing. It really is.
Yeah, I see that. Even I go up there once a month at a church, play music. And play great. But some of the young guys, they're like, they want to hear what we're talking about. And they said, I'm really, I'm in my 20s, but I'm an old soul. I'm really.
There you go.
Pretty common.
Yeah.
For a lot of the younger players.
Yeah, and it's up to us as the old guys to pass it along. Just like people passed it to us. Just your older relatives, brothers, siblings. They passed it and they taught us. We're doing the same now to a younger generation. It feels great.
Yeah, and it's this is like an aside. The cool thing about what we do is, like my experience with younger musicians. You're on your peers. You're not their elder, so to speak, in a certain way. And music is like this conversation you get to have on an equal level, back and forth, no matter any agenda. It doesn't matter.
And that's true.
Unique to the arts.
Yeah, it is. It's universal, absolutely. And beyond the earth even. It's universal. It really
That's
is. And
right.
it's a blessing. So that's a great dive, Dave. I really enjoyed that. So our next segment, we're going to cover something a little different. In my site, I have a lot of different content, you know. One thing I like to do is called Old Guys Eat, and I have Old Guys Cook, Old Guys Gear. Well, I have an Old Guys Cook segment I'd like to show y'all here. So just stand by. I'm going to bring it up, and we're going to check it out together. Just bear with me. Okay, so today we're doing shrimp scampi. So, Dave, I know you are a very healthy eater these days, and getting older. What are some of the concerns you have?
Well, yeah, as you age, your body changes, and you got to change up certain things. I used to eat things without even knowing what was in it, thinking I was eating healthy. So my doctor said, "Hey, you know, you're pre-diabetic." I said, "Well, I don't eat sweets. I find the sugars in everything." So
That's right.
I just altered like low sugar, low carb, and find things that are healthy and taste good. And so that's it. You know, I'm more aware. You know?
That's great. Yeah, that's definitely, and it catches up with you. You guys, you know, out there, you hit 60, all of a sudden you're like, what? But so I think a shrimp scampi is not too.
Oh yeah,
you can eat that, right?
Oh yeah.
There you go. Look at that. It's such a simple dish too. You know, I mean, you really, it's all in and just prepping it, boom, 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 and then. You know, you can make a shrimp scampi in, I'm not kidding, 10 minutes, you know.
Dude, you're making me hungry.
Well, you know what? It's funny. There you go. Cheers. But I get a lot of hits on these cooking videos on the site. You know, people love, what do they love on the internet? You know, recipes, cats, you know. So there you go. And yeah, it's a simple recipe. You know, I was a chef for a long time and a GM in restaurants. So, you know, these are very simple, straightforward recipes and anybody can make, even old guys who rock, you know. So that's why they're up there. And, you know, I was making a tuna melt one day. And my buddy said, "Hey, why don't you film that?" I go, "Tuna melt, really?" He says, "You'd be surprised how many people don't know how to make a tuna melt."
Yeah. The thing that amazes me about you is you do everything well. Music, your audio, your recording, your cooking.
Well, I'm an old guy. You know, I've done a lot of crap. What can I say? You know, but you've always been, you know, you've been the person I've been trying to emulate and to reach, and I never will because you, David, are special. And I'm so blessed that you're in my life, and you've been such a great influence on me forever. Oh man, it means everything, and we're gonna continue, and I'm hoping we can collaborate here down the road now that our technology is caught up. You know.
Just don't make it too hard.
You've heard my crap. Yeah, so go to the Obi Rock website. There's the juke joint down at the bottom. I got David's stuff up on there. A few tunes. Hopefully he'll get me some more, Dave. Wink, wink. And I'll throw them up there and let people check them out. It's amazing. You want to hear some incredible stuff, check out Dave's juke joint. And, you know, check out the website. You guys keep on subscribing, you know, spreading the word. Really means a lot. Great people. I think we're doing good stuff here, and we're going to keep moving forward. If you want any special shows, let me know. We'll produce them. Heck yeah, right? And Dave, you'll be back, I'm sure. When but maybe we can do this on a regular basis.
Yeah, I'll be watching.
Cool. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, my friend. All right, everybody. Well, that's today's episode. You know, like I always say, rock and roll, baby. Oh, guys, rock. Woo-hoo. See you next time. Bye, Dave.
Closing time. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. This is the end. Beautiful friend.
Get the f*** out of here.